So okay, so our course name is 18ME430 machining process. So now today we are going to discuss about grinding machine. So it is a machine tool. We know that machine is nothing but our machine tool. It is common to other machines like lathe, drilling. So it is comes category of machine tool. So before we study machine tool, we will study about cutting tool, right? So I hope you know the difference between machine tool as well as cutting tool. So as per today's schedule, we are going to complete this part. So grinding, the introduction of grinding, working principles, types, advantages, applications, and we are going to concentrate about grinding wheel, how it constructed, and abrasive bonding, types of abrasive, types of bonding, marking system. So marking system is similar to our signature, tool signature, selection of grinding wheel, right? So before, what is meant by grinding, right? So grinding, it is also known as the abrasive machining. Why we say it's abrasive means the grinding wheels are made by the abrasive particles. So abrasive particles mean it's a small stone particles. With this small stone particles, we will remove the unwanted material, right? So generally, grinding material removal is very less compared to other machine tools. The reason is generally it is used in surface finish operation, right? So grinding is a surface finish operation where very thin layer of metal is removed in the form of fine dust particles. So the material removal thickness is varied from 0.25 to 0.5 mm. So at maximum we will remove the material up to 0.5 mm. We cannot remove 2 mm or 3 mm, right? So it is like a finishing process. But if you use lathe, you can remove the material up to 2 mm. But grinding, you cannot remove the material not more than 0.5 mm. So it is defined as a material removal process by the abrasive action. So abrasive actions means it's like a tear, right? So abrasive action between rotating abrasive wheel and the workpieces. So this is what introduction about grinding operations. So next part is working principles of grinding. Working principles. So normally we know that working principles of lathe. We have two centers, and in between centers we place our workpiece, and the tool is moved against the workpiece. So this is what working principle of lathe. Similarly, drilling, we fixed our workpiece in a vise, and we insert a drill bit, right? So drill bit is penetrated into the workpiece. That is the working principle of drilling. Similarly, it is principle of grinding. The workpiece is fed against a constant rotating abrasive wheel so that the thin layer of metal is removed from it, right? So for lathe, there is no rotating part, right? So lathe, lathe, we have a rotating workpiece as rotating. Workpiece is rotated. Similarly, drill bit is rotated. So grinding, rotating part is grinding tool. So the grinding tool rotated, but we move our workpiece against rotating grinding wheel. This is what the principles of grinding. This is a simple image, you can easily observe that, right? So we have a work table. It has a T slots or other work holding devices. So we place our workpiece on top of the work table, and it moved against rotating of grinding speed, right? Right. So this is what grinding. It is used to produce smooth finish on flat surface. So this is a grinding wheel. This is in macro view. If you see in micro view, you can able to view that abrasive grains. So this is what some stone particles, small particles. Abrasive grains are bonded with some bonding material, like it may be the clay or resins or shellac. We have a variety of bonding material, right? So these are some of the grinding wheels, right? Okay, what are the advantages of grinding wheel? So grinding wheels generally used in finishing process. So it has a dimension. It has a good dimensional accuracy. So dimensional accuracy means, for example, I have a 10 mm cylindrical rod, right? I have a 10 mm cylindrical rod. If I use lathe, I can get the 10.5 mm or 10.1. But if I use grinding, I can get 10.001, even 10.00. So that much level dimensional accuracy we can get with the help of a grinding machine. So you can get good dimensional accuracy, good surface finish. So you can get like mirror finish, right? So surface finish, good surface finish, good form and locational accuracy applicable to both hardened and unhardened metal, right? So good form means geometrical form. So if you want a straightness or flatness, so you can get it exactly, right? So good form, good geometric form, and locational accuracy applicable to both hardened and unhardened metal. These are some of the advantages, right? So application part, it is used for surface finishing. slitting and parting. Slitting means it is used to cut the metal, right? It is used to cut the metal. Slitting and parting. Parting means partition. So it will segregate. It will use for segregation. Descaling and deburring. So generally for electric motor or hydrogen motor or water motor, due to the salt content present in the water, it may get some burr. So the burr may be removed with the help of grinding. So descaling or deburring. And stock removal, it is a finishing of flat as well as cylindrical surface. Grinding of tools and cutters and resharpening of tools. So right, remember, so for example, if you have a lathe tool, right? So you have a lathe tool, it is a single point cutting tool. We know that what is meant by tool life, right? So tool life. Tool life means generally if you use the sharpness, right? So the time between reduction of sharpness of cutting tool, it's like a tool life. So if the single point cutting tool loses its sharpness, then we use grinding to produce the sharpness again in the grinding in single point cutting tool. So this is what one of the main applications of grinding, right? So other tools can be resharpened with the help of grinding, right? So this is generally we use in our home applications itself. So if you have a knife, so so it will resharpened with the help of grinding, right? So grinding of tools and cutters and reshaping of the tool. So for every machine shop, generally we have a tool grinders. The tool grinders is specially designed for grind the tool alone, not other materials, right? So these are some of the applications. So this is what surface finish. Here you can view that there are some mirror finish. You can get some mirror finish, and this is what slitting or parting of, right? So this is like a rolling process, but we use grinding wheel, right? It will cut the workpiece material. This is what descaling. So it is like a burr, right? So it will remove burr. And the sharpening of the tool. So these are some of the applications of grinding, right? So this is what introduction about grinding. Now we go with the kinds of grinding. Okay, what are the types of grinding? So generally grinding have two types. One is rough grinding or non-precision grinding. The second one is precision grinding, right? So you know the difference between precision and accuracy, right? Precision means it is the exact value, right? Exact, right? Rough or non-precision grinding. So which means, for example, I have a cylindrical rod. Assume that I have a cylindrical rod. It is 10 mm cylindrical rod. Assume that I have a 10 mm cylindrical rod, but my final objective is I need a 8 mm cylindrical rod, right? So right now I have a 10 mm cylindrical rod, but end of the operation I need a 8 mm cylindrical rod. I need to reduce the metal from 2 mm, right? So 2 mm. So if the rough cut means the 2 mm first step itself, for single pass we will remove more metal. For example, up to 2 mm I can remove 1.8 mm. Assume that on single step I can remove 1.8 mm. So remaining 0.2 mm I can remove by multiple passes. So the first process we say it's a rough cut or non-precision grinding, which means the metal removal rate is high, but we cannot get good surface finish. But the last second part, the 0.2 mm, that is called as a precision grinding, which means metal removal rate is very less, but we can get the good surface finish. So this is the difference between rough cut or non-precision grinding as well as precision grinding. So we have two types of grinding based on our metal removal rate and surface finish. We have two types. If the metal removal rate is more and surface finish is very less, then we say it's a rough grinding. If our metal removal rate is less but finish is good, then we say it's a precision grinding, right? So now we go with grinding wheel, right? So this is what kinds of grinding. This is introduction about grinding, right? So as of now we saw what is meant by grinding and working principles of grinding, advantages, applications, and kinds of grinding, right? So now we go with our machine cutting tool. Sorry, cutting tool. So for example, drilling, we have a cutting tool called twist drill. Single point cutting tool. For lathe we have a cutting tool called as single point cutting tool. We have similarly milling, we have a mill cutters. So similarly grinding, we have a cutting tool called grinding wheel, right? So grinding wheel. So grinding wheel generally it consists of hard abrasive grinds. It may be the sharp, bristle, or small particles, right? So it may be the sharp, bristle, or sharp particles. grinding wheel consists of hard abrasive grinds called grits, right, which performs the cutting or material removal held together by the binding material or bonding material or bond, right. So grinding wheel has a two main ingredients. Grinding wheel has a two main ingredients. One is grits. So grits is it also called as grains or soft crystal or abrasive particles, abrasive grains. So we have variety of name. So one is grit, second one is a bonding material, right. So this is what main two ingredients of grinding wheel. The wheel used for performing the grinding operation is known as the grinding wheel, right. So the cutting tool which is used to perform grinding operation, then we say it's a grinding wheel, right. So this is a macro level, this one is to micro level. So in micro level you can able to view some abrasive grains that are bonded with the bonding material, right. So now we go with construction part. So a grinding wheel commonly identified by the type of abrasive materials used, right. So generally grinding wheels has two main components. One is abrasive, another one is a bonding material, but it is mainly classified with the help of abrasive alone. So right, abrasive. So abrasive plays a major role because that abrasive is used to remove the material. Bonding is used to bond the abrasive particles alone. It won't remove the material, but the abrasive particles is used to remove the material. So we have a generally it can be classified by based on the abrasive materials used. Conventional wheels, generally conventional use means natural abrasives, aluminum oxide or silicon wheels, we say it's a conventional wheels. Sometimes we use super abrasive wheels. It is like a diamond and CBN. So CBNite, cubic boronite. You know that diamond is the most costlier and toughest metal. Cubic boronite is again second costlier and second toughest metal. So super abrasive wheels. So again these are the conventional wheel, super abrasive wheels based on the cost as well as type of abrasive we used, right. The construction part, the wheel may be the single piece, right. The wheel may be the single piece, or it may be the solid type, or it may be composed of several segments of abrasive blocks joined together, right. So normally we use as a single piece. In our machine shop itself we use as a single piece. The grinding wheels are made with a single piece. Sometimes it may be the solid type, or it may be the some jointed parts, right. So composed of several segments of abrasive blocks together, joined together, right. So this is what a grinding wheel construction. So as we know, the main two ingredients of grinding wheels are abrasive plus bonding material. We have a grinding wheels. Abrasive plus bonding material, we have a grinding wheels, right. So for abrasive wheels, so grinding wheel material, abrasive, it is a material of grinding wheel which does the cutting action. So it is used to remove the cutting material, not bonding, right. So abrasive, it's a part which is used to remove the material from the workpiece. Generally we have two types. One is a natural abrasive, another one is a artificial abrasives, right. So natural abrasive means we can get it from natural itself, right. So we can get it natural. Artificial means we will formulate or we will make some type of abrasive particles. Natural abrasives does not meet all the requirements. It has some limitations. So in order to avoid this limitation, in order to overcome this limitation, we use some artificial abrasives, right. So we add some chemicals with the natural abrasives and we will get the required one. For example, I'm doing grinding. So if I'm doing grinding with the help of natural abrasives, right. So I observed that I cannot get good surface finish. The reason behind this, the temperature generation, the temperature occurred during grinding is nearly 1500 degrees Celsius approximately. Assume that, right. So I am using natural abrasives. The temperature created during grinding is nearly 1500 degrees Celsius, but the abrasive particles doesn't capable to absorb the temperature. So that I cannot get good surface finish. For this case, I'm going to use some artificial abrasive. So my objective is I'm going to use some abrasive particles. It must withstand temperature up to more than 1500 degrees Celsius. So I add some other chemical particles like for example, aluminum oxide or something. It can withstand the high temperatures. So that is called abrasive, artificial abrasives. So natural abrasives, it is generally used, but most of the application we use artificial abrasives because natural abrasive does not meet all the requirements. So for our case, we need to understand what are our requirements. So based on our requirement, we can define our abrasive particles. We can use some artificial abrasive particles. Right, so we will see one by one. The first one is natural abrasives. The common natural abrasives are sandstone. You can able to view in sea sites, right? So on black color or yellow stone we have sandstone and emery paper. So generally they are used. It is used in woodworking. Emery paper, right? It is in black color. If you have emery paper, you can touch that emery paper, right? So you can feel some peak in emery paper side. So this is what abrasive particle. So emery paper, it is generally made by the 50 to 60% of crystalline aluminum oxide plus iron oxide, and we have a corundum. It is another one natural abrasives. It has a 75 to 90% of crystalline aluminum and iron oxide, right? So the difference is varied. So for emery we have a 50 to 60% and 75 to 90% we have a corundum, and we have a natural diamond, right? We know that we have a natural diamond. These are some of the examples for natural abrasives. Generally used, the applications are sandstones. It is used for sharpening some woodworking tool, right? So it is used for some woodworking tool like emery paper, right? So sandstone, sharpening of some woodworking tool. Diamond, dressing the grinding wheel, and abrasive materials for hard metal. So we will see what is meant by dressing, right? Dressing the grinding wheel and abrasive material for hard metal. So these are some of the applications for natural abrasives. So again I said the natural abrasive does not meet our requirements. So we go with artificial abrasives. So these are manufactured under controlled condition in closed electric furnace in order to avoid the introduction of impurities and to achieve the necessary temperature for chemical reaction to take place. Right. So artificial abrasive is generally made by the controlled environment. So you can get the controlled environment with the help of closed electric furnace. So artificial abrasives are made under controlled conditions. The reason why we use the controlled environment means one is we need a stable temperature environment. We need a stable temperature environment, and we need to avoid introduction of impurities or other gases. So if the gases are present in the grinding wheel, it will make some void or it will make some oxide flames, right? So in order to avoid this, we use closed furnace. Right, so introduction of impurity and achieve the necessary temperature for chemical reaction to take place. Some of the applications, some of the examples are silicon carbide, right? So SiC, aluminum oxide, artificial diamond, right? So we have a natural diamond and we have an artificial diamond. So these are some of the examples for artificial abrasive. So this is for types of abrasive. So we have a natural as well as artificial. Now we go with other ingredients of grinding wheel. That is nothing but our bonding material or binding material. So bonding material. So bond is a substance that acts as the binder to hold the abrasive grains together in form of sharpening stones or grinding wheels, right? So bond, it's like a substance, it's like a one material. It is used to bind or hold the abrasive grains together in the form of sharpening stones or grinding wheels, right? So it is like a if you make chapati, the powder form atta is the abrasive particles. Assume that water is the binding material. Similarly, we have abrasive grains, so we add some bonding material and to make on required shape. It may be the wheel, grinding wheel, right? So this is what a bond. Several types of bonding material used for making grinding wheel, such as vitrified bond, silicate bond, shellac bond, resinide bond, rubber bond, oxychloride bond. So based on our bonding material, we have 6 more types. Right, so if you use clay, we use vitrified. Right, so if you use silica, soda, then we say silicate. Shellac, resinide, rubber, oxychloride, magnesium oxygen or magnesium chloride. If you use, then we say it's an oxychloride bond. So based on the bonding material, we have 6 more types. So these bonds may be used with either silicon carbide or aluminum oxide. So these bonds may be used in other abrasive particles like silicon carbide or aluminum oxide. Right, so these are the main 6 category of. We will see one by one. The first one is vitrified bonding process. Vitrified bonding. Vitrified wheels are made by the bonding clay metal to a glass-like consistency with the abrasive grains. So we took abrasive grains, right? So we took abrasive grains. So we use clay as a bonding material. So clay as a bonding material, and we make the component. This is what vitrified bond. The clay and abrasive grains are together mixed with sufficient water to make uniform mixtures. right? So note the point, sufficient water. You know that clay, right? The water should be the optimum. If you add more water, then you can't get good finish, right? Good stable structure. So you need to add some sufficient water to make uniform mixture. The fluid mixture is then poured into the mold and allowed to dry. It's like a casting process, right? So it's similar to our casting process, right? First we took abrasive grains. It may be the silicon carbide or it may be the aluminum oxide, whatever it may be. We have abrasive grains and we use clay and we add some sufficient water to clay so we can get some molten state, and we mixed molten state clay as well as abrasive grains mixed thoroughly, and a uniform mixture it will happen. After that it will poured into the mold and allowed to dry. It's like a casting process. After cooling, the metal is trimmed to more perfect size and shapes, right? So this is what a normal procedure to make a grinding wheel. So that cavity should be the circular shape, circular block, right? It is then heated in the furnace for clay. So in order to get hardening, we do other secondary process like heating process. It is then heated in a furnace to a temperature of 1260 degrees Celsius, right? Assume that 1260 degrees Celsius. It gives good strength and porosity to allow high stock removal. It is affected by heat, cool, water or acids. Because clay, it is affected by water, right? So we cannot use some cutting fluids as a water. So clay may be affected. So water. So this is generally used for small applications. It is affected by heat, cool water or acids. It is denoted by the first letter V. Right, it is denoted by the first letter V. This is what vitrified bonding. So vitrified bond, you need to remember two things. One is clay as a bonding material, and it is done with the help of it is done like our casting process, right? And the temperature is 1260 degrees Celsius. The second process is silicate bonding process, right? So silicate bonding wheels are made by mixing abrasive grains with silica of soda or water glass. Right, so again this is also similar to casting. So silicate bonding wheels are made by the mixing abrasive grains with the silica of soda or water glass. Then the mixture is packed to the mold and allowed to dry. The mold shapes are packed in the furnace of a temperature 260 degrees Celsius for several days. Assume that several days. So we need to maintain. Right, so we have several days. So based on the abrasive it may be differ. Right, so we need to control the environment of several days. The silicate bonded wheels are waterproof, denoted by the first letter S, right? So this is also similar to vitrified. Only difference is the bonding material is differ and the temperature is 260 degrees, but for several days we need to keep it, right? So this is a waterproof. That one is not a waterproof. This is denoted by first letter S. The next one is cell lock, right? So cell lock, it's like a elastic bonding. It's like a Fevicol, right? So it's look like a Fevicol, not a Fevicol. It's look like a Fevicol. So cell lock bond wheels are also known as the elastic bonded wheels. In this process, the abrasives and cell locks are mixed in the heated containers and then rolled or pressed in heated molds. So this is forming process, not a casting, right? So previous two making process are casting, similar to casting, but here shell lock, it's like a Fevicol. I said it's look like a Fevicol, right? So we add elastic bonded wheels, right? So we added cell lock to the abrasive grains and are mixed in heated containers and then rolled or pressed in heated molds, right? So later the shapes are packed at temperature 150 degrees Celsius. So we kept 150 degrees Celsius. The elasticity in this is greater than its other two types and it has considerable strength, right? So compared to other two, vitrified as well as silicate bonding, cell lock has more elasticity. Elasticity means it does not regain its original shape, right? It will withstand. It is not for heavy duty. Again, it is not for heavy duty. Used for finishing chilled irons, cast irons or steel rolls. So denoted by letter E. Assume that it is not denoted by first letter S, right? Because we already denoted the first letter S for silicate. So here we use the second elastic bonded. Cell lock is elastic bonded. So we use the letter called E. It's denoted by the letter E. Right. The fourth process is resinoid bonding process. So it is produced by mixing of abrasive grains with synthetic resins. So synthetic resins, it look like a paint, normal paint. It look like, right? So it's not a resin. So the same normal home paint, right? It look like a home paint. So we add synthetic resins. If you want other property enhancement, you can add other material also, other components also. And the mixture is placed in the mold and heated at about 200 degrees Celsius. So it's like a casting, right? At this temperature, the resin sets to hold and abrasive grains are in wheel form. But previous two stages, we pour the molten metal and we allow to solidify. But here we pour the molten metal and we place the mold as in controlled temperature environment. Right, so it is about 200 degrees Celsius. So these wheels are used for purpose which requires a strong high-speed wheel. It denoted by the letter B, not a letter R, right? So letter B, right? The second letter is second, and the next process is rubber bonding process. So here rubber wheels are produced by mixing abrasive grains with pure rubber and sulfur, right? So it is also mixed with pure rubber. The mixture rolled to the sheet and the wheels are punched out of the sheets as a punching process. So this is like a punching process, right? Forming as well as punching process. So first we mix rubber with abrasive grains and we convert that mixture as a rolling sheets or sheets, and we will cut punching. We will do the punching process and we will get the final shape. These are the less heat resistance because rubber, it can withstand more temperature, is a less heat resistant and more dense than the resinide wheels, denoted by the letter R, first letter called R. Right. The next process is oxychloride bonding process. So in this process consists of mixing abrasive grains with oxide and chloride of magnesium. So MgCl2, MgO2. So the abrasive grains are mixed with MgCl2 and MgO2. The mixing of bonding and abrasive grains performed in the same way as a vitrified bond wheel, right? It's like a casting process, right? So these wheels are used in making wheels and wheel segments for disc grinding operation. The first letter is O, we know it as the letter O, right? So these are the types of bonding process. So based on our applications, so before generate grinding wheel or before manufacture the grinding wheel, we need to understand the environment, we need to understand the requirement. So based on our requirement, we need to choose our abrasive grains as well as bonding process, right? So this is what the types of bonding process. So now we go with the other topic called standard marking systems. So again I said standard marking means it's a signature. So like we have a signatures. So the signature means it reflects it's owned by me. So signature. Similarly, the tool has a signature. So we already seen single point cutting tool signatures. So if you are working in some industry, they won't say go and get grinding wheel. They will say some set of sequence of numbers. You go and get this wheel, right? So it is like a continuous serial number. It's like a barcode, right? It's like a barcode. So for every digit will represent some parameter. So standard marking system to maintain uniformity throughout the country in the system of making grinding wheel, the Bureau of Indian Standards, so the BIS, so it is one of the standards. So we have variety of standards, right? So in BIS system has derived a standard system to be followed by all manufacturers. According to the system, the various elements and characteristics of grinding wheel represented on wheel in definite sequence as follows: abrasive, grain size, grade, structure, bond and manufacture record. So we cannot change the sequence. It is defined by BIS, right? So abrasive, grain size, grade, structure, bond and manufacture record. So it is aligned like this, right? So abrasive, grain size, grade, structure, bond, manufacture record. So every digit represents the some parameter. Like for example, the 51, it is not mentioned here. So 51 means it is like other parameter, like manufacturer symbols or some internal purpose they use some coding, some code words. So 51 refers the manufacturer symbols, and the abrasive references A. So here we use A. A means aluminum oxide. If you use aluminum oxide, then we say A. If you use silicon carbide, then we use C. So the second letter, it may be the A means we can know that the abrasives are aluminum. If the letter is C means, then we say silicon. So every abrasive we have a variety of name, right? So this is one of the examples. And next is the grain size, the particle size, abrasive particle size. So we have a coarse, medium, fine and very fine. So based on the size, we have a 4 category. If the numbers between 8 to 24, then we say it's a coarse structure. If the number between 20 to 60, then we say it's a medium structure. The grain size, it should be the medium. If the structure is number is 70 to 180, then we say fine. 220 to 600 or more than 600, then we say it's a very fine. So that it represents the abrasive grain size. The next one is grade, right? So grade means how the metal look like, soft or medium or hard. So from A to Z, right? It is A to Z. The A means it is very soft metal, very soft. Z means it is a very hard metal, right? So based on the sequence, for example, if it is L means medium, if it is U means it is intermediate between medium as well as hard, right? So A to Z we have a grade 6, right? And the next one is the structure, how it arranged, right? Abrasive grain, how it arranged, whether it is densed or whether it is opened. There are so many bonding, right? So it is arranged like 1 to number. So lowest number represents the dense structure. If the keep on number increasing, then dense may be the open structure. So somewhat gap or somewhat bonding middles. The gap means there is no atmospheric gap. The void air gap, it is like a resin. Bondings are kept. So 1 to 100 up to 16, right? So it is a structure. Next one is bond type, right? So resinide reinforced shellac, oxychloride rubber resinide, silicate vitrified. So this is what the bonding type. So we denote as a letter, right? So next one is again the manufacture record. It may be the date of manufacture, expiry date. If it is expiry date means expiry date, and some other parameter, other criteria. Then we mentioned in 23. Right, so this is what a standard marking system. So this is one of the examples. 125, 25, 32, WA. So 125 stands for wheel diameter, 25 thickness of material, W to bore diameter. W means it is a manufacturer fix. It may be the optional. Abrasives. What are the abrasives? Al2O3, 46 medium, L4V, and then 17 is for other internal purpose. So this is what a standard marking system. So standard marking system is a signature of cutting tool. Right. The next topic is selection of grinding wheel. Right, so how we need to select the grinding wheel. So this is generally based on our application and based on our workpiece material. Right, so first thing, the grinding wheel may consist of so many factors. Right, one is abrasives. So if the workpiece metal has a low tensile strength, then you can choose silicon carbide. Abrasives may be a silicon carbide. So the wheel abrasives may be the silicon carbide. If the high tensile strength material, then you can choose aluminum oxide. Right. This is one of the examples. Right. We have a catalog. So based on our requirement, we need to choose our abrasive particles. So it is done generally. It is abrasive. I mean artificial abrasives. So natural you cannot. Right. So for low tensile strength, you can choose silicon carbide. High tensile strength, you can choose aluminum carbide. If you are planning to low cut or good metal removal rate, very less metal removal rate with good surface finish, you can use a fine grain. So size of the grain is, it should be the fine. If you are planning to use a rough or a deep cut, you can use coarse or medium grain, right? The structure, right? The next one is a grade. If you use soft metals, then we use high grade. If you use the hard metal, then we use low grade metals, right? So based on our workpiece metal. The structure, if it is a soft metal, again it is a soft metal, you can use open structure. If it is a hard metal, you can use as a dense structure. So based on this, you can choose. For example, your metal has a low tensile strength. Okay, assume that your metal has a low tensile strength, then you can pick silicon carbide. And grain size, it is I am going to use rough cut. So the silicon carbide may be the coarse particle or fine medium grain size. And I am going to use some hard metal, so I can use low grade. I can use some hard metal, so I can use dense structures. Right. Similarly, bond. So high cut means I can use vitrified bond. High finish means I can use shellac bond. Parting, or if you want to cut, remove, then we use resinide or rubber bond. So based on the our requirement, we need to choose. The second one is again amount of metal to be removed. Right. So if you want to high metal removal rate, you can use a rough or coarse with medium grain. Low cut means fine grain or dense structures. The third category is accuracy of size and finish. Right, so if you're planning to rough cut and again low finish, you can use grain or vitrified bond. High finish means resinide, shellac, or rubber band. So these are some of the category. Area of contact. If you're planning to cut more area of contact, then you use soft grade. If you use smaller area, then you go with high grade or soft grade. So types of machines: heavy machines, if you use heavy machine, then you can use heavy machines means vibrations are very less, so you can use a soft wheels. And heavy machines can withstand more vibrations. If it is a small machine, it cannot withstand more vibrations, so you can use hard wheels. And speed, if you use cutting speed or the grinding wheel speed, if it is a 200 meter per second or lesser, you can use a rectified band. If you are planning to use more cutting speed, I mean more grinding speed more than 200, then you can go with resonant band, right? So these are the some of the selection criteria to select grinding wheel. So based on our requirement and application, we need to select the each and everything in a grinding wheel, right? Okay, so thank you.